Welcome to Journey, the program in which we talk to Jamaicans who have traveled from Jamaica to Calgary. My name is David, and today my guest will be Mr. Damion Duckett. Damion, welcome to the program and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me, sir.
Damion, where in Jamaica are you from?
So I'm originally from Kingston. I was born and raised there. My mom died when I was 9, and then I moved to St. Anne.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in between St. Anne and St. Mary. That's where I grew up as a youngster.
And when did you come to Calgary?
When I moved here in 2014, the 15th of May 2014.
So transition from Jamaica to Calgary in May. That's about spring. How was the weather for you?
Well, to be honest, I landed in Winnipeg, Manitoba. That was the city of choice. When I first got off the plane, it was a little bit, I would say, detrimental because, it's my first time being in this freezing weather. But I had prepared myself because I worked in the industry, and everybody who I came across, they are Canadian, and most of them keep on saying about the weather. So they always make a joke about Winnipeg that it's called Manny Snowba.
Okay.
So I always have it in the back of my head to prepare it myself, and I was quite happy to be there and experience the winter.
So you actually were ready for in terms of
Mentally.
What about do you have your coat ready and as well too?
So physically, my mother-in-law at the time had everything with me on the plane when I landed. So it was, and from the airport straight to the car. When I came to Winnipeg at that time, it was just starting to reach that peak. So it was, dayfall take a long time to go away, so the night take a longer time to come. So I was just enthusiastic to just look about what's happening and see what's happening, and just excited to, see various things.
And when did you actually arrive in Calgary?
So I came here on the 14th of May 2014.
So from Jamaica to Winnipeg to Calgary.
Calgary.
And now you've been in Calgary for almost 3 years now.
Yes.
Okay, what is the transition like for you from Jamaica to Calgary?
So basically, because working in the hotel industry back home, you've met quite a wide array of people. So you always hear things about various countries. The country of choice for me was the US anyway. So before I got married, I thought my wife was, from the US, but unfortunately she's Canadian. So being in that industry and talking to people, you get a sense of, hey, this is a place that you want to be, somewhere you want to visit, regardless of the weather, regardless of how cold it is. You're just excited just to get the opportunity to go on the plane. The journey was not a good one, but I'm still giving thanks that I'm alive.
Okay.
Yes.
And you said you worked in the hotel industry back in Jamaica.
Yes.
And is that what you're doing now in Calgary?
No, so basically when I got here in 2014, I had 4 jobs. So I was working at a military daycare as a one-to-one aide, and I was working at Subway as a sandwich artist, and I was working downtown Radisson in Winnipeg as a bellhop, and I was also working at the next Subway as an assistant manager. So I've been through the chain. I was working at the Subway for only like 3 weeks, and then one day in the store, the phone rang, and I just answered the phone, and I was on training at that point. And it was the owner of the franchise, and she's like, who's this? How you sound like that? So anyway, she said she wanted to meet me, and by meeting me, then I became one of the assistant manager for the franchise. So I've been in food services, I've been in childcare, but now I'm still in childcare.
And when you say childcare, can you explain a little bit what kind of childcare you do now?
So basically, my prior company to now, I was an education specialist, so I do one-to-one with kids who need one-to-one attention. Not that they're autism or anything, they're normal, but they just need an assistant boost to help them through their day. So I help them with their regular routine, going to the bathroom, ensure that they're using the bathroom properly, ensure that they're taking the notes, necessary information that the teacher in the classroom is given. So it's a one-to-one. So I'm there with them right throughout the day, assisting them until nap time. Then they get up and the routine starts all over.
Now, in terms of the industry that you worked in before, in the hotel industry, how did that help you with your job currently?
So basically, I should have stated I started in the hotel industry in Jamaica as an entertainment coordinator at Beaches Basketball. Then I used to do a lot of functions for the school within itself, the hotel within itself, and then there are various parents who would have come to the hotel and they would have seen me. They were like, "Man, you would be good with kids." And then my first job was working at my alma mater, which is a Rockabessa Primary in St. Mary, as a teacher's assistant. And I was on the youth service. So I was getting 2,500 every 2 weeks being on the youth service. And then my principal said, "Hey, you're doing a good job." And then after the program, he hired me at the school for a while. And that's where I started out as a teacher.
So you have actually experience with kids as teacher, and now you're doing it again. So you transition not only in traveling from Jamaica, but also in your job.
In my job.
Capacity as well, you've been there.
Yes.
Now, in terms of the community that you see here in Jamaica and Calgary, what have you missed mostly back in Jamaica?
Well, to be honest, I must say blatantly, I miss the church life. Because, back home we go all out when it comes on to Christianity and when it comes on to church. There are a couple of churches here that have similarity, but I mean, nothing like its own. And I would be lying if I didn't say I miss the food. Music is international, so we can get the reggae music here too. So we do have that. But I mean, the warmth of the people and, the neighborly thing where you can move from one destination to the other, talking to friends and family. In a Jamaica church start from 9 and we're not done until 9 in the night.
And you go right
so you go right throughout the week. So you miss that, you come here, the nightlife is not that wonderful because you don't have night services here, but you have various days that you might have a Bible study. So I would really say, I miss that part of it. And I mean, I'm embedded in my culture. I'm a Jamaican by heart, by birth, and by nature. So I'm all sold out for my country.
So, being all sold out for the country, and you let's say you're advising someone who is in the church in Jamaica to come in here now, what would you tell them?
So basically, nothing can be done without doing proper research. I mean, it all depends on what the person is coming to Canada for. I came here through marriage, so it was a little bit easier for me. I mean, if you're coming here and you don't know anybody, sometimes that was my case too, because you're coming to a new place, but your personality should speak for itself. You have to be open-minded to certain things, and sometimes as Jamaicans, we are not that open-minded, and then therefore we could be a little bit lackadaisical in terms of how we go about preparing to come to a country such as this.
You talk about coming here, even when someone comes from Jamaica, being prepared, even a nurse or a teacher, but they have to do some starting over, go back to school as well too. What would you say for your journey that you would give someone that advice to be able to prepare themselves for, even though they may come qualified, how to readjust themselves here and to become a Calgarian?
So basically, I mean, there's nothing wrong with coming with a master's or a bachelor's from Jamaica to Canada, because they have system here that you submit your papers through the system and then you get back a level. It all depends on what you want to do. But it's the standard of Canada. It doesn't matter what level you get back, you still have to do some form of education standard or some form of training to get in line with the Canadian system.
Right.
So, I mean, it's all good if you come, because I've known of a situation with a friend. She's a teacher. She came with her doctorate, and it took her a while to get a grade, because as it is like Jamaica, I mean, the CXCs and the 9 and 10 6s here, it's a little bit different, where, you can access education once you pass the requirement. It's not like you have to have 9-6 in Jamaica to get into any form of institution, any college. It's different here, and we have quite a number of community colleges that are doing quite a number of things. So for example, the most one that everybody is probably doing is the nurse's aid, and that's a good job. For me, I really love working with kids, so henceforth I end up doing this course, because I was doing the work before started the course. But it's required that if you're working in an institution with kids, you have to have that level, because you can't be alone with kids unless you have that level. And just like you can't be alone with kids unless you have your criminal check, your police record, you have to have all those clearance. So you're allowed to work, but you will never be alone with the kids.
Someone coming from Jamaica, being qualified, can work in any industry here and get themselves moved up to where they would like to be as well too.
Once they put their mind to, because qualification for Jamaicans is not a difficult, because most of us come in this country and we are already have masters, bachelors. But it's just that it's kind of sad, because when we come, it's like we start all over, because the system, unless you're going to apply for a mediocre position where you know that you'll work your way up, you know, but if you come with your degree, it all depends on the area. Because the thing is, not that Canada doesn't match what you come with, but in order for you to get into their system, you have to be trained at least a year or so in their system. You know, so that's what it is. And it's not really hard, because, I mean, Canada make studying very easy. I mean, you can study at your own pace. You can do a course for 2-3 years at your own pace. So it's very easy, other than, you know, being at home. You're at UTech, you have to do 5 years, and you can't stop none at all unless, you know. So, I mean, it's very laid back, and things are being much more organized now in terms of online. So you have the comfort of your home and doing your courses online.
So employment is there once they are willing to make the adjustment to train, even though they may be qualified. But someone coming from Jamaica, totally untrained, they can still get into the workforce and they'll be able to train, get education.
Because they still can get into the workforce. One of the things we have to understand, that when you come, Canada is a country that accepts everybody, right? And they are not going to just allow you to come in and not have the resource. I mean, we have the Center for Newcomers that here in Calgary, that when you come, you go there and you have a host of classes, a host of seminars happening right throughout the day. If you don't speak English, if you want to learn English, all of that is there. And volunteerism is also very important, because I stand attest to that. I'm currently volunteering my time at the Center for Newcomer as a mentor. I also run a program at the Marlborough Community Association, where I'm the lead in charge of sports. So we have a drop-in night every Wednesday night, and I mean, once they see those on your resume, I mean, Canada, when you talk about volunteerism and you are applying for a job and you are a good volunteer, trust me, there's no doubt that you're not going to get that job.
So Jamaicans listening to you right now, ready to be prepared to volunteer, and that will help them to move ahead in coming in Calgary.
Yeah, because you see, the thing is, one of the things you have to understand as a Jamaican coming to a foreign country, right? Probably back home you're a pimp and you love the fast life. You know, I mean, it's sort of a difference here, because when you come, first of all, we drive on the left. So you have to go get your driver's license, and you have to do driving school and all of that, you know, right. and drive. So what is happening is that when you come, you have to observe what's happening around you. You have to be, you have to get yourself physical, right? You can't just come and depend on other people. You have to move, you know, because nobody's gonna fish for you. You have to fish for yourself. This is Canada. Everybody is trying to make it. You know, everybody's doing their best. Sometimes the ends might not meet, but you have to go out there. And honesty is the best policy. You have to work for your meal, you know, because nobody's going to give you a handout unless you deserve that handout, or you drop on your face. So don't come thinking that, you know, it's a handout. It's not. Everybody have to work for themselves. We have rent to pay. We have car to pay. We have insurance and all of that. So, you know, you have to get into the swing of being what you came here to be.
So you have really covered a great part of your journey, coming from Kingston and going back, and, you know, being the last of your siblings, and you coming here feeling all by yourself. And so for someone coming in that same capacity, at least you have given them a lot of things to ponder on right now. So just to I want you to just put a wrap up for me, in terms of culture, in terms of food, in terms of music, everything that you have experienced, what would you just give to someone who is ready to leave Jamaica tomorrow to come here?
Well, I'd say, oh, Jamaica, 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 in spite of this and that, is the land of food and water. Out of many, we are one. I mean, just come and have an open mind, because that's all it takes, to be open and to come here, to tell yourself that you're not going to be on the train of non-movers. You're going to be on the plane of movers, because you have to be careful the people you associate yourself with.
Good. Well, Damion, thanks again for sharing your journey with us. Definitely is one that many people who listen to you will want to at least emulate as yes, you are giving them some sound advice. Thanks again for being with us and for sharing your journey with us here on the program Journey.
You're welcome anytime. Jamaica to the world.
Again, that's our program for today, and thanks to Mr. Damion Duckett for sharing with us. Any questions or any comments, please see below. And until next time, this is David signing out from Journey. Walk good.